Okay. Yes, it is my birthday. And when it got to be 31-20 and they were driving, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. But proud of the guys to get some stops on defense after we gave up some explosive plays. Disappointing in that respect. We learned from it, but then we came back and Gunnar Maldonado made a couple big plays. Quay Moss made as good an interception as I've seen here. It was a Jacob Parrish type play. And then proud of our offensive line. We inserted guys like Devin Vass that have been in the program for 4 years, and Gus Hawkins and Andrew Linegang, guys that I know, it's easy to say the TPs and Sam Hex and Pastores, but all those kids have been in our program a long time, and they had a lot of heat on them to perform, and I thought they came off the ball, and I thought they blocked really well. And as you guys that have been around our program know, we're a different team when Dylan Edwards plays. And sometimes we maybe get too hard on the O-line when Dylan's not in there, because Dylan makes some things right if it's not right. And he was obviously the spark we needed. And truth be told, we needed that spark. We needed Blake Barnett's spark. We needed Joe Jackson's spark. We needed Lincoln. We needed a lot of things because we thought Jace could go, couldn't go. Adonis got hurt on the first series and couldn't go. Bryce Nornberg got hurt on the kick return. He was the next guy in. And so really we went with Tibbs, Sterling, Isaac Cook, Caleb Medford. And we only had a few guys healthy at wideout. So we ended up playing a lot more bigger 12 personnel people, which, that was the way we had to do it to win the game. But faced adversity. We're always going to be in tough ball games in the Big 12. So much respect for Scott Frost. He's a really good friend of mine. Worked with him for a few years. Talked to him before the game. Can't imagine what that football team and those coaches, those players are going through with the death of a coach, and it's fresh in their mind. And so my hat's off. My hearts are to their team because that is really hard. And they came in here and battled their tails off. When I know that their hearts are on their O-line coach that passed.
Chris, that seemed like a really complete game from Avery. What did you like most from him today?
He took what was given to him, knowing we probably lost some big play threats when Jace couldn't go. And so he had to do a couple things. He had to get out of the pocket and make some throws, which he did to Sterling and Tibbs and stuff. And then we asked him to run the ball a little bit more, something that we thought we needed. Then when we were down some wideouts, we knew we needed.
How much just did you feel like things opened up with Dylan out there? It seemed like the defense
I thought they opened up a lot. I mean, just naked eye, it looks like the field's about 60 yards wide when he's playing, because, he can hit something. And we saw it. Guys, what was it, 70, 75-yard touchdown run. And they have angles on him, and they don't get him squared up. And he's a physical runner. He's not just a scat back. He's a physical runner. He ran through 2 arm tackles. And guys, when he gets in the open field, nobody's going to catch a kid.
More than that, though, just his presence, does it force a defense coordinator to attack you a little bit differently?
I would believe so. And not knowing what you're going to do or if he's going to play, there's no film from 25 on the kid. How are we going to utilize him? Connor was the OC before. Now it's Wells. How are we going to get the kid involved? Is he going to be involved? I'm sure that played a part into it, but I know from our vantage point as defensive coaches, it's a nightmare when he's out there from a practice standpoint.
And another question along the same line. Avery, I think it was the first possession, had tucked the ball and took off on a scramble.
Yeah, how about that? That was big time.
Yeah, does that – okay, he's going to do that. We got to do something different.
Yeah, and it was man coverage. So when it's man coverage, everybody's got their backs turned, and they brought people, and he found the seam. That was a big-time play, and no doubt. If it's zone, and he said there was one time he thought he could have ran, he saw the backers sitting in there, he probably is going to make those kids miss anyway. But it was fun to see him, and a couple of runs he had in the red zone to get us close to touchdowns were big-time too.
One more. Is this kind of a best-case scenario? You got the win, but you probably saw plenty of things to work on.
Yeah. Oh, there's always going to be things to work on. We've got a ways to go, but it's fun to be able to come in here on Monday and celebrate a win rather than going through another tough loss. In the same respect, we know we've got to get some of these guys back healthy, and hopefully, we'll get Jace back. That's a big piece to us. Hopefully, we're closer to getting Jerron Bradley back. That's a big piece to us. I mean, you think about it. We haven't had our best 4 offensive guys to complement Avery all season, and I don't know if they'll get back this week or not. But with the guys we have, it's like in the offensive line, the guys we had played their tails off, and our guys played with a ton of emotion today and energy today. And I hope people in the stands and I hope people watched and noticed that, the one thing that's a non-negotiable for me is you're going to celebrate good plays and you're going to celebrate K-State football. And our guys did that today. We got a sideline warning. Heck, I didn't care. It's fun. Celebrate this game. You only get so many opportunities to play it, and you practice the living daylights out of it.
Moving Brian LePack to the field today, did that make a difference?
That's a great question. It's something that Brian wanted to do. Drew was up there last year in the box with Brian because Connor was down on the field. We started it off the other way, and then Brian asked to come down. Drew was fine. Drew's a team guy to go upstairs. We got 2 really old line coaches, and so Brian wanted to come down. So I'll talk to those guys and see how it worked out.
It was a beautiful day today, and got one of the biggest crowds in stadium history, and you walk off the field victorious and go in that locker room and speak to your team. Just what are the emotions that you felt throughout the day and in the locker room afterward?
Yeah. D. Scott, the first thing is thanks to the fans. You're a 1-3 football team, not playing very good football. It's easy to say I can watch this one at home. And I appreciate them believing in the kids, believing in us, because we feel we have a good football team. Is it going to be rough at times because there's really good teams in the Big 12? You've seen some of the games. There's dang good teams in our league. But I appreciate the fans coming and supporting these guys because these kids want to win. They're as upset when we don't play well as the fans are, and I appreciate those fans coming out. Satisfying that the kids earned the win. They didn't hand us the game. We strip a ball out when they're driving, and we focused on punching at the ball and stripping it. That was a huge play. The interception by Gunner was a huge play. Quay Moss was a huge play. And I thought we fought for the extra yards. I don't care if it's Lincoln Cure catching a hitch route and getting hit and banging it and going for another 3 or 4 yards. We fought our tails off for those extra yards trying to earn the victory.
Just Coach, you talked about the energy when we talked to you on Monday, just trying to get that up. Where did you see that transition? You talk about the guys get the sideline warning, but I'm sure that happened from way before this morning.
Well, I think we'd have gotten 30 sideline warnings during practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday because that was what we emphasize of celebrate with your teammates. And if Simon makes a great punt, make sure everybody taps Simon on the head. Luis makes another big-time kick. Everybody go get on Luis's hat. That becomes contagious. And leadership and energy is a contact sport. It ain't, hey, good job, man. It's getting on guys, and that's why I almost killed myself celebrating with Swanee on a great block because you got to show that energy, man. And if I'm showing it as now a 58-year-old, if I'm showing that at 50, not quite your age yet, Gino, if I can do that at 58, then those kids know that, man, we're celebrating great plays.
Where do you see that come over and maybe performance on the field? Because it looked like a different team a little bit today.
Well, I hope so, and now we got to build on it, and we got to make sure it's not a one-off. Because when you get punched in the mouth, and in this league you're going to get punched in the mouth, you got to be able to fight back. And I thought we got punched in the mouth on defense in the 3rd and 4th quarter a little bit, and those kids kept fighting and ended up making some plays.
And what was the deal with Jace going out early?
Well, he tried to play. He'd been dealing with something. Went out there. We thought it was good, thought he was clear, and then when he finally went full speed, it was like, no, I can't go.
Hey, Coach, what did you see in the game planning for UCF where you thought you'd have some success, and did that differ from what you actually saw?
Well, it's hard because it's hard to evaluate everything that they had through 3 games. I thought the running back's a great player. I think number 7, the wideouts, as good a players in this league. We knew we were going to see multiple quarterbacks. Hopefully the one quarterback's okay. We knew when the big kid came in, he was going to be mostly run, although he throws a 70-yard pass against us for a touchdown. They're really hard to defend on offense. And then I thought on defense, they do some really good things with their scheme. But we had to try to win the line of scrimmage, and I thought we did that with our offensive line. I got so much respect for Scott. Frosty and I are really good friends, and this business is hard, and you need colleagues and friends, and we shared some time before the game.
You know, Avery Johnson had obviously a great game on the ground in a way that he probably hadn't done before. Was that a product of what you saw from UCF's defense, or
No? Avery's a really special athlete, and sometimes we got to say roll and go, just like Dylan. I mean, when those two are running, we can be a much better team. Okay.
Defensive line, how'd you feel like that they were able to put pressure on UCF?
We did some really good things. We still, every position, we've got to finish tackles, finish sacks. You know, we had him bottled up a couple times. I'm proud of the D-line. They played their tails off, secondary linebackers. We got to finish better on some tackles, but something that we can work on. So I'm going to go celebrate, guys. See you.